Thing one tonight, one of the accomplishments President Trump is most proud of is his appointment of federal judges. But one nominee the president might want back is Matthew Peterson, who Trump nominated to the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia back in 2017. Peterson made it as far as a hearing in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, but it only took a few questions from Republican Senator John Kennedy for it to become apparent that maybe Peterson wasn't cut out to be a judge.
Have you ever tried a jury trial?
I have not.
Civil?
No.
Criminal?
No.
Bench?
No.
State or federal court?
I have not.
Have you ever tried taking a deposition by yourself?
I believe no.
Okay. Have you ever argued a motion in state court?
I have not.
Have you ever argued a motion in federal court?
No.
As a trial judge, you're obviously going to have witnesses.
Yes.
Can you tell me what the Dober standard is?
Senator Kennedy, I don't have that readily at my disposal, but I would be happy to take a closer look at that.
Okay.
That is not something that I've had to contend with.
Just for the record, do you know what a motion in limine is?
I would probably not be able to give you a good definition right here at the table.
Peterson withdrew from consideration following that debacle and returned to his day job on the Federal Election Commission. Now, you might think that kind of public embarrassment would make it tough to find a new job, but you would be wrong. And that's thing two in 60 seconds. Matthew Peterson failed as a Trump judicial nominee, but he still had a very important job as a member of the Federal Election Commission, where he was tasked with helping to maintain fair, transparent elections. Peterson was appointed to the commission in 2008, twice served as body's chairman in 2010 and 2016. But after 11 years in the job, Peterson announced last week he was resigning from the already shorthanded commission, leaving the FEC unable to conduct the most fundamental aspects of its mandate, including processing complaints of election malfeasance. And what kind of opportunity would cause someone who had spent the last decade at the FEC to cripple the agency with their exit? Politico reported Peterson will be a partner at the law firm Holtzman Vogel Josefiak Torchinsky. That doesn't mean much to most people, but a Washington Post report from 2016 described the firm's specialty as, quote, helping wealthy donors, corporations, and political action committees influence elections, often in secret. That's right, Matthew Peterson, the failed judicial nominee, essentially shut down the FEC heading into the 2020 election to join a law firm that specializes in helping rich people and corporations influence elections in secret. Very cool. Hopefully, for Peterson's sake, his new job does not require him to go anywhere near a courtroom.
Have you ever tried taking a deposition by yourself?
I believe no.
Okay. Have you ever argued a motion in state court?
I have not.
Have you ever argued a motion in federal court?
No.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.